Okay, it's 5:18. We'll get started. Nobody's here from the public. Um, so there are two sets of minutes, April and November. I probably missed April.
Oh, November doesn't have attendance on it.
It just says all board members present.
Oh.
Any questions, updates, comments?
Motion to accept.
Okay.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so both of those were approved. Public session? Nobody?
Hold on, I gotta write none. Right? Can I list down? So I have to do the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although the nice thing is you'll have YouTube.
Yeah, okay. Have you met me? I work 56 hours a week.
Let's see. So new business, Board of Health clerk resignation. So we got an email on the 22nd. It says, please accept this letter of resignation for my position as Board of Health clerk. My last day to work will be December 7th. I'm resigning purely due to personal reasons. I have been struggling to find enough time to focus on my graduate courses as much as I need to be. At this time, I need to be putting my schoolwork as a higher priority and cannot balance everything. I appreciate the opportunities afforded to me during my time in this role. I will do my best to organize any loose ends in my remaining time to make this smooth transition. If there are any projects of high priority you would like me to focus on completing, please let me know. I'm sorry for the inconvenience and I hope you understand. And she did, in fact, work right up until the very last day and had it all very organized. Everything was in the folders online, in a folder in the filing cabinet, had written instructions of everything that was outstanding. I mean, the files have never been better. So, we,
Do we have it posted?
it is,
Yeah, we've had some applicants.
it is posted, one applicant.
Yep.
And so, right now it's kind of quiet. So I think I would suggest emailing the one applicant that we have, let them know that we're looking to do interviews the middle of January. And see if there are any other applicants, only because I don't expect much activity in the next month. The other thing is that the town meeting is coming up.
The 22nd.
Is it the 22nd? So I think in light of the fact that there is an article on there to increase the pay for hours, it might be good to know for sure that it is budgeted at the 5.5 hours versus the 2 hours, although since we got a late start and we have this break, we're not gonna run out of money even if we had to have extra hours, even if the townspeople don't approve that increase.
Okay, so we will interview the applicant we have currently.
Yeah, I think we should, so if
She's applied before.
Yep. So if we maybe, when's our next meeting? Our next meeting is tentatively scheduled January 17th. So maybe if we can try to do the interviews that day.
Oof, it's gonna have to be before, if that's a Wednesday. right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can be here in person if I have to work that day.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What time are you thinking?
Oh, I only have Board of Health, goalkeeper training, Boy Scouts, and basketball, but I'll
Okay.
figure it out. I might have to leave early.
I mean, if there's only one or two people, I think 15 minutes each. So if we
Yeah, I
did,
can come after 4. I mean, I just have to pick up my kids at 4.
okay, so if we said 4:30,
Yeah, I'll put it in my calendar.
okay, so we'll tentatively plan for 4:30 on January 17th. And if any interviewee can't attend in person, we could always do the Zoom option. Okay, and then we'll have the meeting at 5:15.
Yep.
So anything else on the clerk resignation or the interview plan? 2024 Recycling and Cleanup Day is coming up. And something that I'm leading for the Board of Selectmen is a cleanup of the attic.
Mhm.
And there's tons of old paper.
Mhm.
So we're gonna do, they're gonna come and take away all this paper. And it's, I forget how much it is, like $230 maybe, $250. But it's, very reasonable. And we're gonna probably have them come pick up during February vacation. But I was thinking, what about doing a recycling shredding event during the recycling day? I believe it was $500 for 3 hours. We certainly have money. I'm just not sure that there'd be a demand.
So could we ask,
Like, we would let the people know.
right, like, but could we ask ahead of time, hey, during recycling day, would anybody be interested in a shredding company
Yeah.
coming? Because we could provide that service to you,
Yeah, and then we just cover the cost of
right?
the shredding. Okay, so we can put out a interest. They can do, if they do it on site, they can do like paper clips, staples. But if they can't do like binder clips, they
Yeah.
can't do.
Staples are gonna be a thing.
Can we do another like med disposal
Oh, yeah.
thing too, to kind of keep it in scope with Board of Health events? Like, I mean, I understand like paper shredding can be somewhere in the lines of that, but
Yeah, I
is it
think,
more in terms of like health and keeping homes tidy and like,
yeah, I mean, I would
So
assume
instead
we
of
would do the
throwing the
same
paper
thing for
away,
recycling
Yeah,
day.
instead of throwing paper away, people could recycle it. This is like a shredding company, so a lot of people.
no, I know what it is. I'm just thinking in terms of like keeping it more of like in line with a
Mhm.
typical Board of Health
Mhm.
event. Like, can we tie it in with like some medical?
I think it's gonna be the same
It'd be
day,
the
the
same thing, I would
day, the
think.
recycling day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Like have like a third option to bring
Yeah.
Oh, I
shreddable,
got- I
like,
thought we were only doing.
no,
paper.
this,
Oh,
so
okay.
this will be
I was
in
like, it's not really
addition.
Board of Health.
Yeah, in addition to all those things.
Okay, got it.
This is just another thing we can add.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
And it has to be a minimum of 3 hours, so they'd
Mm-hmm.
be here from 9 to 12 in their truck. People come drop off their mattress,
Mhm.
drop off their meds, and here's boxes of paper,
Okay.
like stuff they don't want to throw in the trash.
Mhm.
So
And they're not shredding it, the company does?
yeah, they're gonna shred it right in the truck, and the person who's having it shredded can watch them
Okay.
shred it.
Good.
So I did tentatively sign an agreement, but it can be canceled at any time.
Okay, no, I.
But we are booked for that day. They did
What
schedule
is
it.
the date?
We had scheduled it for June. Is it June 9th?
oh, I don't know if I would pick that day,
We did,
did we?
yes.
June 8th.
Yeah, June 8th.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, we did pick that day.
no, June 9th is my anniversary.
Yeah, June 8th.
It's probably in my calendar. Oh, no. June 8th, recycling day.
Yeah, which is the same day as what we did last year. Okay. And seeing as though we have money in our revolving account for programs, maybe we do a postcard, 2 postcards,
Mhm.
kind of similar to the one you did last year, but add the shredding.
Mhm.
Save the date
Mhm.
and then potentially something later.
Okay.
So we'll do postcards to save the date.
Yeah. New option shredding.
Mhm.
Definitely, a lot of people were like, I didn't know about
I know,
recycling day.
I
I don't know
know.
how that is. Seriously.
Mhm.
Didn't we even have the school send out an email saying there was gonna be recycling day?
I don't know, but,
We should.
and I think as far as looking for volunteers, I
Yeah.
think we could get a lot more volunteers. And maybe even do the shirts and again. So kind of old pros now with this, but we could probably get started in January with.
Yeah, I think like weekly, we have to blast Facebook
Yeah.
and all forms.
Yeah, and then anything we can try to announce it at, I don't know, anything before the Memorial Day parade, maybe we can say something out loud. I don't
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like just to be like, hey, last year we did this and
There's the
we
election.
heard that FYI, a lot of people didn't know about it, so I know that this, but not to steal the importance of the Memorial Day parade, but just wanted to let the community know that we are doing this.
Well, we have those message boards,
Yeah, we used those.
but so we have those. We could, for Memorial Day, for the election day, we could put a sign, recycling day. Like we could have something, you know how we did those for the vaccine thing?
Oh, yeah,
We had
yeah,
them professionally done from Amazon.
yeah.
We could do some recycling day signs,
Mm.
kind of like the postcard, but on
I
a.
mean, you put all those signs.
Oh, that's right. We did all those signs. I don't know how people missed them,
I
but
know, anyway.
And we mailed every mailbox.
yes, yes. So we'll do it again.
I think though, the importance of keeping it in June of every year, I mean, it was
Yes.
bigger that this year was bigger than our first inaugural year, so that, yeah.
And I know people say it's, Earth Day and cleaning up the streets is not as easy with the grass already growing and
This
But-
is okay.
yeah, we can,
The hardcore people will come out.
yeah, okay.
Yes.
And we'll talk about tick prevention and
Yeah, we can get tick prevention
yes.
cards.
Okay, anything else on recycling?
No.
Okay. Old business 2024-25. We talked about this last month, budget discussion and vote possible. So I did give you something from the Board of Selectmen on the budget. Did I?
Yeah, this letter, yeah.
Yeah. So. Said something really good.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, well, let me just, basically, we have to, here we go. Budget time, so they sent us a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
and I'll pull it up. Let's see. Just so you know, I did, I don't know if you've had a chance to see the SharePoint yet.
I had to click on it. I didn't actually see the actual SharePoint.
Okay,
I
so I'll
saw the
show
like
you.
request for access.
Oh, so you didn't have access yet? You had to,
I clicked on it. It said you have no pending requests or whatever.
okay.
But I could, maybe if I didn't actually, I only looked at the front screen. I didn't look to the side column to see if there was anything I needed to poke through.
So like this is what you should see when you go on.
Definitely did not see that.
Reminder, although we can put files in here, we're not allowed to discuss anything outside of a meeting. And then each
definitely.
department board has a page, and those people in that group have access. So Board of Health has a page, and within it are everything that we had on OneDrive that you had to come into the building. You no longer have to come into the building to access any of this.
Okay.
You can download, the URL to your home screen on your phone.
Mhm.
Somebody says, hey, can you send me the Title V? All you have to do is go to here and
Do you
Say-
have an app?
I did the URL and then I said save to home screen.
Can you email the URL to us or do we
Yeah.
have that somewhere? I
Um,
didn't see like an actual link. to-
so, in that way, you can, just go right to that file, right to that street and just hit email
Okay.
and send the document. So it's that ocamma.sharepoint.com.
I don't have Wi-Fi here.
And just stop there.
Oh, it comes up on my.
And are you in? Because I gave you access. Okay, and then go to the left. That's the 3-dot thing. Nope, not that one.
What's the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi
yeah.
password here? Do you know?
Founded, capital F, 1775 pound. Pages.
Like I clicked on the link that was in the email.
I might have to still give you access.
So how do I save the?
Wait, what's this? Here we go.
Okay.
So that's the Board of Health, but the,
Is it under the
So
Microsoft
you could just do
365
that.
OneDrive or no?
and then, add to home.
Oh, so
screen.
if you go from your email, it's right, it's. Like, is this it? Cause see, look, okay, mysharepoint.com.
Yeah, so that's your OneDrive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you have a OneDrive now.
Yeah, I have one at
So-
work. This is why I have trouble logging in. It's
Yeah,
the same.
So,
Okay.
I can show you later, but, what I also did in hopes of being a little bit more environmentally friendly, you can see here, let's see, something called advance of meeting packets, this top thing. I put today's agenda in all of the documents that I printed out. So that way you have the ability to review it beforehand. We're not discussing it. You're just looking at it. Which is really the safer way to do it. So, and as things come in, when we have a clerk, they can start putting things, there.
I don't know. I see the email with the link.
So I think what I can do.
What is SharePoint? That's helpful. Maribel sent the email that said I'd like access and I hit accept. And then when I click on that, it says pending, well, you are all up to date, no pending requests. Oh, document.
Oh, yeah, it's because I guess somebody sent you a pending.
Oh, I got it. So
Okay.
this.
Yeah, but then you should be able to go to the main page, which I will send you after this. So I'm still trying to figure it all out and
I use this at work. It's very easy. but
so
it's
I want you to get this one. So like if you were to, if you, this link here, Control C, oops. That's the URL that you really should be, trying is that, this one. I can set you up later. Okay, so the budget, that I was looking at. Let me go to the Board of Health page. Advanced meeting, today's meeting, and then the Excel spreadsheet that they sent us. Okay, so can you, let me see if I can move this so it doesn't look here. So these three rows are what we have right now. And you can see over the last 3 years, 21, 22, 23, what we were budgeted. We didn't have a budget for part-time wages before in 21.
Yeah,
Um,
you can really see it from there.
and then what we, it doesn't say what it was budgeted in 22, but we spent 95 because it was only for like a week that they were working. What we spent in 23 so far year to date. And I've, in advance of the vote, I assume it's gonna be passed, but it's actually 3150, I think, right now. And so let's say it gets approved at 5,000. I was suggesting we put in for the 25 budget, 5,000 stipends. It's been 2,100. I proposed a 3% increase. 3% is standard. I believe all of the town employees, hourly employees got a 3 or 4% increase last year or potentially this year. I mean, 3% is $63 amongst the three of us, so it's really not a lot, but I think it's worth asking. And then for expenses, we were originally 6,500. When we budgeted the 2,000 for the clerk, we said, let's drop that to 4,500. So we've spent $55. I'm saying would we be okay at $2,000 for an expense line, knowing that all of the revolving account stuff, like if we charge for CPR classes, if we charge for the recycling day, like money can go into that to then be used for programs. So if we really wanted to do something, we could potentially build up extra money. So you know, if we go in asking for this 4,500 and we turn back 4,000, basically we've raised 4,000 in taxes that we never used. And I guess the town turned back over $400,000 last year. That was budgeted and was never used by anybody. So could it be used other places? Well, at the end of the day, there was no money left to put towards, you know, getting windows fixed or because we didn't have any money. But if all these departments, boards don't put in for the max, they put in for what they need.
Yeah.
So what do we really need? Like just to put up a number, I think we should be thinking about what we want to spend before we just say 4,500.
Where did the recycling day from last year fall into?
It went into revolving.
Oh, I was gonna say,
And we took in what we put out.
yeah.
So in theory, we could charge $5 a head. And keep that pot for doing the signs the next year or so that we're not using our expense line. Like what are expenses for? Expenses potentially could be for if there's a dumpster we need to buy because there's an issue at a property. So
But didn't you wanna look into that trailer? So that could.
so that's separate. So that we have that $10,000.
Okay, oh, that was great.
That's ARPA, yeah.
So in terms of the spending there, the actual, if we look at if the town in the meeting per se wanted to see historical data, do they look at that revolving account? Because when I look at that budget and we don't show the spending, it's hard to justify any.
Yeah,
It is.
or anything, yeah.
It is, and
But so can they look at the historical
They
spending
won't.
of the revolving account to show that we are using money?
so at the town meeting, somebody might ask that question, like, well, how much do you spend? But during the budgeting process, I think Dawn was assigned the Board of Health. And so they're gonna work with every board and committee and department and say, hey, you put in for 4,500, you know, but last year you only spent $964.
Yeah.
And so that right there shows that we turned back the difference between 964 and 4,500 that we
So
did.
is the numbers in green the numbers that we are proposing?
That's what I put in as a proposal for this next budget. And when do we have until? January 29th.
I was gonna say, I think we can
Yeah,
trim our expenses down if we want to justify increasing the part-time wages, right?
well,
Or that's.
I don't even know that we have to,
Mm,
but we could. I mean, I think, what are we saving here? We're going from
55%.
11,000 to 9,000, so although technically this is what, was it 3150, I think is what we technically is budgeted. So we're at least saving $500 by reducing it. If we went up to 5,000.
I would say that the expenses should be no lower than the 2,000, but maybe 2,500. I don't.
Okay, so maybe if we could think about
Decrease the 2,000 still.
what we would actually spend the money on
Mhm.
outside of a program that we could charge for or
Yeah,
use.
I would like to see maybe like another like large community event, because that's a good way to spend a
So-
good amount of money.
Like if we did a CPR day or a health education
Concussion
day,
clinic,
we could
for the
cover.
general
That's what I
public.
wanna do, still I have not gotten an email from those people. I sent you an email. being
It's
like,
on my, it's on the agenda.
Okay, good.
So yeah, so
Cause I would love to have, host a babysitting class for the teens in this town. I
Mhm.
wanted, that's something I would love to do.
So that could be out of the expenses, but then
Right.
maybe build in a nominal fee.
We could, but it's something that, by the way, you have to stay certified, so we'd have to offer it every other year.
Yeah,
So it would be
We
something.
bought the
could do.
mannequins.
that
Right,
definitely is overhead cost.
I definitely
Right,
want
yeah.
to, I wanna do that, that's something I'm
So
better.
we're subsidizing it significantly, but there's something that goes towards it. Okay, so if you could think about other expenses and then,
Well, it's expensive to keep people CPR certified and to do the babysitting thing, that costs money, so I think,
so I'll adjust it to 2,500 as a starting point.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll have to vote on this at the next meeting, on what our budget submission will be. Anything else on that?
No.
ARPA?
so I just write vote on next
Yeah,
meeting.
we'll have to, so we're gonna each individually think about it and then at the next meeting, bring ideas on what we would actually be spending, proposing we spend on.
Mhm.
ARPA, one of the things that Kylie was gonna work on was looking at some of the trailers. I'm off next week, so there's a place in Leominster near the Fitchburg Airport, it's in Fitchburg, near the Fitchburg Airport, that does the trailers. So I'm gonna go up there and look around, but we have been allocated 10,000. And so,
Did we get permission to put it somewhere?
so we could put it at the highway barn.
But did we get permission?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Even if it costs $7,000, we could spend $1,000 to put shelving and, because all of that stuff upstairs, I envision going in it
Mhm.
and not just thrown in it, but like stacked.
Make sure you get something that's not gonna be humid, cause those CPR dolls need to stay good, just
Yeah.
stating, those are not cheap.
Okay, so that's ARPA, ECSI,
Should we write out what this is, because I don't think people. really-
Emergency Care Safety Institute. That's the educator.
Okay, so just cause I don't think people.
Yeah,
read
so
minutes, sorry. And
I
what does
will-
ARPA stand for?
Let me close this. What's that?
What does ARPA stand for?
American Recovery something something Act or something.
All right, well, we should put that in the minutes so people know what they're looking at, if you ask me.
So I will email ECSI and see,
Okay.
because you don't have a login or anything,
No.
right? Okay.
And I went into the thing and remember I was like, how do I do this? And it, cause I picked an E, I couldn't figure it out, but anyway.
American Rescue Plan Act.
It was like P.
So the social media policy was adopted. So it should have been sent to everybody. Anybody who posts to our social media page, we're supposed to sign saying we acknowledge
Yep, I saw
the
that. you
rules. So if you
edited
could, we each have to give that to Maribel. And
that. Wait, we
then,
have to sign it?
Yeah,
Actual?
yep.
Okay, sorry, I
Um,
didn't realize that.
yeah, so we have to sign it, turn it in, and just read that we're gonna follow it. So like, we can't be sharing businesses.
On the Board of Health
Yeah.
page.
So we can't promote
Right.
people who are making a profit off of things. So special town meeting is coming up on the 22nd.
Yep, January 20th.
So we do have an article on there, so if you're able to come, that would be great.
I have Girl Scouts.
They
sorry.
should come.
William's gonna be there because the Boy Scouts are working on their citizenship and the community badge, so
Nice.
he's gonna be there. I offered for him to come today or to that one. He said he would go to that one. I said it's gonna be a lot longer.
Yeah, there's like 20 something articles. The 2022-23 annual report, I'm asking for permission to write it and submit it. It was due December 1st. So you remember what goes in the annual report. So Kylie did provide the list of total number of permits that we granted. So that'll go in there. And then it's gonna be much shorter summary of what we did. Basically, continued to give out COVID things, worked with Leicester Regional Public Health, and we did the recycling day.
We did the Council on Aging thing too.
That was in this
Oh,
fiscal
okay,
year.
anyway,
Yeah.
I'm fine with
Yeah.
that. Voting, motion to accept, who I have to?
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, we're all good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, clerk report.
hold on. You skipped over a review of 21 Colbert Road.
Oh, yes, so I have emailed the current homeowner.
My God, I saw a rat at work and I was like, ah, that's huge. And I felt immediately terrible about it
So-
outside, by the way.
What was I looking for?
The email to the 21 Colbert Road. You
Oh, yes.
emailed the current
So
resident.
I've messaged him twice. He received a certified letter, which we received confirmation that he received
Mhm.
with no response. So on the fifth, I texted him and again today. And they both said that they were delivered.
Can I write owner was contacted via
Yep.
text message?
Yep. And this was the number that Trevor had contacted him at before.
Okay,
So just say we're trying to follow up, see what you're gonna do. We'd like to address the issues. Specifically, today I said the issue of the garage being wide open with visible trash being, showing.
Mhm.
So even if they were able to close the garage door or something,
right.
or, so that's that. And I'll work with Francis from Leicester Regional and let them know that there's not been any response
Mhm.
and see what their next recommendation is, but they are up on their taxes. Like, there's no, I don't know what we can do. And then so I had I submitted 3 things to the treasurer.
Wait, where's this go under?
This
Review of any
is
payments.
the clerk report.
3, what things? I need more specific.
3 things,
Okay.
3 payments to the treasurer.
Sorry, just checking.
Yeah. A construction permit. A septic decommissioning.
Decommissioning?
Yep. At 231 Rutland Road, Eva Grimes' old house, they're gonna tear down.
Oh,
And they have to close down the septic system. And then 2 septic hauler permits for 2024.
that's 4 things.
A trash hauler permit. And a food permit for Oakham Central School for 2024. Okay,
That's 6 things.
well, there were 3 submissions,
Okay,
but there were multiple things on them.
Focus, people. 6:00.
I know.
okay.
I'm trying to get the minutes right.
Got YouTube. And
I
then,
don't have time for that.
let's see. And then one thing from Phil for payment, I think was like
Hauler,
$550.
H-A-L-E-R. How do you spell that? H-A-U-L-E-R.
HAUL. And then Phil submitted a payment request for $550, which I'm not 100% sure got submitted for him, so I gotta find out on that. I'm pretty sure it did though. Just wasn't in the file. Okay.
Correspondence, anything?
Nope, nothing that jumps out.
Leicester Regional Public Health Coalition reports updates.
Just that Trevor, our former agent, sent us a letter of resignation.
Yeah.
And I did speak with Francis Monday. And he is already working on contacting all of the food providers in Oakham. I sent him a list, trying to get him access to our page there, see if they'll give him that, even though he's from the outside. And he's already made contact with a bunch of them. So for now, he's gonna be the interim, but they are looking to replace him. So, and they're working with the Council on Aging on doing a monthly blood pressure and glucose checking.
Very good.
So they're gonna work directly. That is it. Next meeting, January 17th, Wednesday, 5:15, with interviews tentatively scheduled starting at 4:30.
Perfect. Thank you kindly.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, matey.